So today is a special video because I'm going to attempt to contact my government to petition the government for redress of my grievances, which is my right, which cannot be abridged or denied as it is specified in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Okay? So that's what we're going to try to do. So I got the phone and calling the U.S. Senate because I want to talk to the Vice President, who is the President of the Senate. So let's give it a try. Hi. I'm trying to reach the President of the Senate. That would be Kamala Harris.
I was just about to say, if you're looking for Kamala Harris, that's me now. Take care.
Thank you for calling the Vice President's Capitol Hill office. If you would like to leave a comment or a voicemail message, please press 1. If you would like to speak to a member of the Vice President's staff, please press 2. You've reached the office of the Vice President. If you'd like to leave a comment for the White House, please call the White House Comments line at 202-456-1111. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Kamala Harris, the President of the Senate.
Thank you for calling the Vice President's Capitol Hill office. If you would like to leave a comment or a voicemail message, please press 1. If you would like to speak to a member of the Vice President's staff, please press 2. To hear these options again, please press the star key. Wait while I transfer your call. You've reached the office of the Vice President. If you'd like to leave a comment for the White House, please call the White House Comments line at 202-456-1111. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Well, to tell you the truth, there's no way to contact the Vice President to file a petition for redress of grievances. They directed me to the White House to make a comment, even when I chose the option to speak to their staff. Now, what in the world does the Vice President have to do with the White House? Vice President has no role or responsibility whatsoever in the White House. None. They are the President of the Senate, which is the legislative department, which is where you find the union. It has nothing to do with the president and his administration, which he doesn't have an administration anyway. The states, as the union, have an administration to implement their policy. The president doesn't have an administration, doesn't form an administration, doesn't choose officers. The most that the president can do is if there's a vacancy in one of the executive offices, that they can submit a number of nominees for the states to consider in the Senate to make their choice. How many? As many as the states want, with the qualifications that they want. How does that determine? Well, they determine that through the rules for their proceedings in the Senate. Because advice is that they're telling the president that they want a number of candidates to consider, and they want them to have a specific qualification to be considered. And they have a process that they use in order to determine the person that will be appointed. That's what by and with advice and consent of the Senate means. We live in a pretty bad country when you can't even get hold of the vice president, who's the president of the Senate, to even find out how to petition the government for redress of your grievances. And it's not the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has nothing to do with it, because the Supreme Court is part of the grievance, because it's not assembled properly either. Now, if you want to know what this is about them declaring that Trump won the presidency. But you can't win the presidency in the United States. You can't even run for president in the United States. And the only way to become president in the United States is if you are identified by a majority of all the electors. How many electors are there supposed to be? 11,121. That's the whole number of senators and representatives each state may be entitled in the Congress based on the 2020 census. Okay? And 1 for 30,000 is a proportionality constant. So you can't change that number. Because if you change the number, you can't have proportionality anymore. And it can't be a fixed number because you can't figure out how to apportion the fractional representatives. When you multiply a state's percentage by that fixed number, you're going to have a ton of fractional representatives. How do you decide what to do with the fraction? Well, in the Constitution of the United States, it says that not to exceed 1 for 30,000. So if they round up, that will exceed the proportionality constant. Okay? That's how you get to fractional. Get rid of the fractional representative. It says boundary condition, not to exceed 1 for 30,000. So that number can't be changed because the number calculated by the enumeration for each state is a percentage of the representation in the House. That percentage has to be converted into a whole number of representatives with that proportionality constant. So, okay. We'll try again on another day to get the attention of our government so that we can file for redress of our grievances.